Okay, so I swapped these two boards back into their original positions, and I noticed something interesting when I hold down the auto tune button. I'm just going to turn off this light so you can see it. Oh, I've got to turn it on and just kind of point it away. So normally, so you can see the LEDs turn on when a voice is triggered. Now what I'm going to do is, here's the auto tune button. Now when I hold that down, you can see what's happening. So it's cycling through one voice at a time, and I'm guessing that perhaps what's happening is that a fixed control voltage is sent to each voice in sequence, and the output frequency maybe is measured, and that is used to adjust the control voltage. I don't know, that's just a guess, but if there is any, what I've been looking through in the schematics is to see if there's any feedback circuit from the output of each voice. And I noticed that on the schematics there is it's probably somewhere around here where all the summing circuits are for well, basically at the output of each voice. Switch on this other light. So there's two oscillators per voice. The output comes from each voice and goes to these pots, which are for controlling the panning between the left and right channels of the output of each voice. It also goes, the output of that goes to a single, there's a 741 on here. See, there's two of them actually. So it'd be one 741 perhaps per I don't know, maybe one per layer. Either way, there's a 741 is used to sum the output of all four of these voices and to feed it to an output called G2. Now, what I'm wondering about is if that G2 output somehow makes its way back over here and perhaps to the processor, so that it can do a frequency measurement. If that's what it in fact is doing, then I suspect what it perhaps might do is, I don't know if it uses a square wave. So because if you were to generate a square wave output, then what you could do is basically turn this thing into a function generator. You're saying, okay, I'm going to produce a control voltage and send it to each of these voices in sequence, and that control voltage should cause these oscillators to produce a square wave of known frequency and known amplitude. So they produce it, come back out of here and back into here, and then measure it and say, okay, so let's say hypothetically that it's a 1 kilohertz square wave we're trying to produce. So it comes in here, we measure it, and we notice that it's maybe 1020 hertz instead of 1000. So then the tuning algorithm in here would know that, okay, for this particular voice that I'm currently tuning, I need to adjust the control voltage down slightly so that its output is 1000 hertz instead of 1020. And then it does that. I don't know if that's the case, but I'm certainly curious, and this is where, as I dig more into the schematics, I'll learn a lot more about how it works. The other thing that's going to help to show me what's going on is this guy. So I'm going to look at the outputs of these, and I'm going to watch what happens when it's tuning. So I'm going to hit the tuning button once again. I'll switch these off. And I'm going to hit tune once. Okay, so when I hit the tuning button, it just goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and stops. So it only does a single pass through the through each voice. But I wonder if it only takes enough time to go through and do a feedback loop to get the tuning right, and then moves on to the next one, and it's really quick to adjust the tuning. But anyhow, that's my theory, or my curiosity about how it may work. But I'm not entirely informed at this point. It's more of a guess at, if I was to do this, how I would go about it myself.